The steam engine, for its type, is one of the most versatile things on land. And the diesel engines are the power behind the mixed traffic goods and specials that go all around the island of Sodor. This is NWR Stories. A Spiteful Reunion. Donald and Douglas are two Scottish twins that arrived on the island in the early 1960s. Only one was expected, but soon the Fat Controller decided that both of them would stay on the island. In time, the Fat Controller had realized how hard both the engines worked, and he never regretted his decision to keep both of them. It's a known fact that the two engines can work very well as individuals. However, the other engines also know that they are stronger together, and they always get heavy jobs done. Though they caused a bit of trouble when they first got here, they have proved their mettle and are welcome members of the Sodor team, and they always work together. One day, the twin engines were at the station when the Fat Controller gave them their assignments for the day. We are experiencing very heavy goods traffic, so I decided to call on you two because, well, you guys are the best of the best when it comes to goods traffic. Aye, said the twin engines in unison. So, here's the plan. Donald, you collect your train at the docks, while Douglas, your train is at the yards near the sheds. Okay, sir. We will be right on it, said Donald. Aye, aye, said Douglas. First, Donald left to head towards the docks. Then shortly after him, Douglas left for the yards. After a short time, Donald made his way to the docks to collect his train. Salty was shunting the last car onto Donald's train, and soon Donald's train was all ready for him to collect. And not long after Salty finished shunting the train, Donald arrived. Hey Salty, is this all my train? Aye indeed, matey. All these wagons are yours, and are ready for you to take on your journey. Many thanks, Salty. I really appreciate it. And with that, Donald backed up to get ready to couple up to his train. Not long after Donald arrived at the docks, Douglas arrived in the yards. Well, this doesn't look bad. Looks very, very manageable, said Douglas as he surveyed his train. Soon Douglas backed onto his train, ready to set off, when suddenly the yard manager walked up to him. Aye, what seems to be the problem? Oh, hello, number 10. So, you seem to be missing something on the back of your train.
And what might that be?
A brake van. Luckily, there's one in the siding next to you. Can you please get that and shunt it to the back of your train?
No problem.
I'll do that quickly. He was quickly uncoupled from his train and then went to go get turned around to take the brake van to the back of the train. When Douglas turned around and went onto the siding, he could not believe his eyes as a look of horror stretched out across his face.
"Oh my, not you,"
said Douglas with a disgust impression. There, sitting in front of him, was an old enemy from the past.
"Ugh, it's you. I can't believe you're still on this railway,"
said the brake van. The brake van, it was of course the Spiteful brake van, or the Northwestern brake van. He was not happy to see Douglas indeed. If you recall in the Reverend W. Ardrey's book Twin Engines, or in the television series episode Donald and Douglas, or if you're from the UK, Brake Van, Douglas was helping James push a train up Gordon's Hill, but the trucks were holding back, and Douglas was pushing the brake van. So you already know what this turn of events would prelude to. 1 minute, the brake van was on the rails, and suddenly the brake van was smashed up to smithereens. And ever since that day, the brake van has had a grudge against Douglas, which was no surprise to the number 10 Scottish twin.
"Huh! I thought you would have been spare parts by now. What are you doing here?"
said Douglas, angry.
"What's it to you? Why do you care? You smashed me to bits. It took him about a couple of months to put me back together." "Well, who cares? Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna have to put you on the back of my train. Now let's get a move on,"
said Douglas, moving forward.
No, I'm not going anywhere," said the brake van.
But Douglas did not listen. He coupled up to the brake van and placed it on the back of his train. Soon Douglas was ready to go, and with the toot of his whistle, he set off with his train. Soon Douglas was making his way down the line. Everything was going smooth at first, but then the brake van started causing trouble. At random moments throughout his journey, the brake van would apply his brakes in order to slow Douglas down, and Douglas was getting very annoyed. He was getting annoyed because he knew the more the brake van kept this up, the more likely he was going to be late. And when he was late, nothing could come good from it. Overall, Douglas knew he was going to be late with his train, and the Spiteful brake van gladly took the blame for it. Well, to himself at least. It was around nighttime when Douglas finally delivered his train. And let's just say, the foreman was not impressed. Though you delivered the train, after all, Douglas, you still delivered it late. So now the workmen will have to come early in the morning to deal with this shipment.
Ugh, okay. I understand, sir. I very, very do.
With a sad toot of his whistle, Douglas puffed off to the sheds. Later, Donald and Duck were talking in the siding when Douglas puffed up right next to them. Donald could notice that there was something wrong with his twin, so he decided to speak up.
"Hey, Doogie, you don't look good. What's wrong?" "Ugh, it's that stupid Spiteful brake van. He started all trouble. I was trying to put it behind me, but it's like he just wanted to keep dragging it on. Ugh. I really hate that brake van."
Big pardon, Douglas. Was this the same brake van that gave you trouble back in the 1960s? Said Duck curiously.
Ugh, the exact same. I guess I'll have to teach him another lesson, said Douglas. Now, don't you go doing anything stupid, Doogie. That didn't work last time, and I doubt it'll work again. Ugh, says you, said Douglas. I'm going to sleep. And with a toot of his whistle, Douglas puffed angrily away. Well, I guess I'll try talking to him. See you tomorrow, Duck. Take care, said Duck, tooting a whistle to Douglas as Donald as he puffed away. The next day, it was Douglas's turn to pick up a train from the docks. And it was evident that he was not in a good mood. The reason why he wasn't happy was because the Spiteful brake van was once again on his train, making remarks as usual. Hey, rusty black scrap iron, can you please get a hold up? I feel my wheel wells getting rusty. Douglas soon backed onto his train, ignoring the brake van's comments. And with the toot of his whistle, he soon set off with his train. At first the journey went well, but then the brake van started causing trouble once again. Come on guys, hold back, and pass the word to the others, said the brake van, mischievously. They were heading towards the bridge, but Douglas still remained strong with his train, making sure to not let the Spiteful brake van ruin his day. As he started up the hill, it happened. The car started pulling back on the train, and soon it happened. As soon as Douglas was at the top of the bridge, the coupling snapped, and the train started rolling down the hill. On, faster, they giggled. And with that, the train started rolling into the tunnel and disappeared. Oh, this is terrible. I must stop the train. And soon Douglas rushed after the train. You would think that the brake van would enjoy the runaway, but you would be wrong. Because soon the brake van realized that he bit off more than he can chew. Douglas was rolling down the line, desperately trying to catch up to his train. He was going faster than his wheels could carry him, and he surely felt the strain. In the distance, he saw his train, and he was determined to catch up to it. At a close second, Douglas rushed in front of his train. And soon he was once again coupled up to it, but was going fast down the line. But Douglas knew what to do. He had to act fast because up ahead there was trouble. Andy was getting ready to leave the station when the alert came. There's a runaway train! Everyone evacuate the platform! Oh no. Driver, get out of here. Save yourself, just in case of an impact. But Andy, I don't want to leave you. Just go, driver, said Andy, yelling to his driver. As soon as the station came into view, Douglas applied his brakes as hard as he could. And thankfully, he came to a complete stop a few engines right from Andy. Once again, a crisis was averted, and everyone was safe. And
Luckily, no one was hurt. After everything was sorted out, the Fat Controller showed up to speak with Douglas. Douglas, I don't know how you lost control of your train. That is unacceptable. Very unacceptable behavior. I thought you would have learned, but I guess not. I'm going to have to... Wait, said the Spiteful Brakeman. It was my fault. Douglas was doing a good job controlling his train. I just wanted to be mischievous. So please, whatever punishment you were getting ready to enforce on Douglas, please just do it to me. It was my fault in the end. My apologies, sir, said the Spiteful Brakeman. Well, now that you have came out with the honesty, I will have to think of something later. I'm currently late for dinner with my family, but we will talk later. Good job, Douglas. And the Fat Controller walked away. Hey, why did you do that? It's not like you to take the blame, said Douglas. Well, what I did was very irresponsible, and I could have got smashed up, this time under my own accords. Now, how about let's just say we bury the hatchet. I know you apologize for smashing me up back in the 1960s, and there's no use in holding grudges. So, we don't have to be friends, but I guess we could be on civil terms. Let's just say that. I got to say, I like that. More better than being enemies. And since that day, the two have decided that it's better to be allies than enemies. And they decided to work together from now on in order to limit the confusion and delay. But in the end, me personally, I believe that Douglas did the right thing as far as dealing with his issues with the breakdown. Don't you?